think traveling on a motorcycle is the best way to travel, to explore a new country, to explore a new continent. It's just a liberating feeling, and you're exposed to the elements. I think what also amazes me is each time you travel, especially to a developing country, and you mix with the locals, it's amazing how simple their lives are, yet they're so happy. And I think one has to have an open mind at the same time and be willing to try most things, new food, new drinks, and new places to stay, wild camp, all sorts of things. I think all of that, it's just that if the motorcycle brings it all together. In Asia, I've traveled extensively in India. My last trip was from New Delhi to Land's End and all the way back to New Delhi, so I'd covered about 8,500 kilometers. What's amazing about India is each state has its own language, and each state almost has its own microculture, and people look different and sound different, and despite being a local, you're almost like a foreigner in your own country. And it's just brilliant. So yeah, we were on road for about 24 days. I think one of the best things about that trip was my mate's bike broke down, and we had to get a truck in the middle of the night. We slept on the truck overnight, got to Hyderabad, which is around central India, and got the bike repaired fully. And the next day we hit the road. So the whole experience of the bike breaking down, when I say breaking down, it's a bit of an understatement. It completely self-combusted. I've ridden the bike both on-road and off-road, and on a lot of pothole-ridden roads in India, which is a different experience altogether. So yeah, I don't think riding should be a cause of concern at all. मैं आपको ये कह सकता हूँ कि सब कुछ ठीक-ठाक होगा. In the UK, I've done multiple trips to Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. I've also ridden to the Republic of Ireland, and Scotland is just stunning. It's absolutely gorgeous, and no matter how many times you've ridden there, you just want to go back and ride some more. I've travelled in Europe as well to a fair few countries. So I've travelled to France, Germany, Spain, Belgium, Czech Republic, Italy, Switzerland. Just to sort of name a few. And I absolutely love riding in Europe. And it's gorgeous and it's pristine, but sometimes I do sort of miss the madness of a developing country, the madness of India. The fact that you can just sort of pull over on the side of the road, have a cup of chai, have street food, and hang out with the locals, hang out with truckers, and I think that's just brilliant. In 2016, I'm thinking of traveling to Scandinavia, so doing Norway, Finland, Sweden, and Eastern Europe, and then come back to London. And then in 2017 is the big one. So in June 2017, I shipped my bike to Alaska and ride all the way down to Argentina. Starting from 2002, I was the moderator of one of the first Enfield clubs in Delhi. We used to organise rides to different parts of the country. Often I used to ride with groups of riders from 5 to 30. And we used to look after each other, ride together, and just basically do everything together. Cook and clean, and if a bike broke down, we'd fix it. And if we didn't find a hotel, we would just sort of pitch tents. And I used to lead some of the rides. I used to be happily led on some of them, and it was just brilliant and fun. And it was the whole spirit of camaraderie. In 2007, I was chosen by Royal Enfield to be part of their trip campaign. Instead of choosing models, they wanted to choose people who've actually ridden extensively on an Enfield in the country. In 2010, with the Delhi Enfield Club, we organised an event for 800 Royal Enfield enthusiasts, and we had riders from all over the country come and take part in it. And again, it was just brilliant. We had about 800 odd people attend the 3-day event, and we had everything from beer drinking competitions to tug of wars to the nicest bike, the dirtiest bike, and all sorts of things that happen at events like these. Last year I received a call from Horizons Unlimited, and they asked if I could lead on their Dover to Donington ride. And it was basically encouraging riders from the continent to come and attend Horizons Unlimited. So this was in association with Horizons Unlimited, Hub UK, and TourTech Germany. TourTech were brilliant in helping us design posters and flyers and all sorts of things. I worked with Dominique and Alex, and they were absolutely brilliant. So I organised the ride, I pulled the team together, and there was not a big group, but it was a fun group. There was about 13 people, and they're from all over the place. They're from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, India, Poland, Germany. So it was a good fun ride. I also presented at Horizons Unlimited last year. It was about riding in India. The whole idea behind the presentation was to try and tell people it's not that difficult. If you've got a bike, if just ride. Even if you don't have a bike, just fly to India, get a bike and ride there, and it's good fun. What was interesting to see was that a lot of people who are apprehensive about riding to a developing country or India in the first place weren't so offered the presentation once they'd heard that isn't that difficult. And I think sometimes media sort of hypes it, and which made me think that it's a shame that these sort of events only happen once a year. And if people actually get inspired and encouraged to ride their motorcycle to different parts of the world, these sort of things should happen more often. So I started Motor Adventure Nights, and the whole idea behind that is that we get people who have ridden to different parts of the world, come and present, share their story, and give people an opportunity to ask questions. And it's in a smaller, intimate setting, so that people don't feel like it might be a stupid question or something. I don't charge anybody. I just do it for the love of adventure motorcycling, and to promote and encourage other people to just adopt the Just Ride philosophy. Have a bike, just get up, go, and ride the world. And it's gone really well. We were recently featured on Adventure Bike TV. I've been dabbling in still photography for about 10 years now, and I think that's quite important that you use that to communicate where you've ridden, what you've done, people you've met, the stuff you've eaten. I love food, so I take a lot of pictures of food. I love landscape photography. Last year I started Motor Adventure Photography, a Facebook group to promote motorcycling and photography and adventure. And it's taken off, and people have liked it, and people are posting pictures on it. And again, it's to inspire and encourage people to get out and ride and travel different parts of the world and take good pictures. Another thing that I'm quite attached to in India is a school that I've been associated with for the past 10, 12 years. And I helped them raise money to give free education to wee girls, and to sort of help build obstacle courses and playground stuff and all sorts of things. So each time I do a trip, whether it's through Just Giving or another charity site, I'll raise money, and then I'll put up pictures, and I'll put up the blog, and people like reading it, and they think it's a good cause, and they support my travels, and they support the charity. I think on motorcycle rides, another thing which is quite important, especially if you're riding in a group, is to make sure that you look after everybody and you're looked after as well. And with this particular opportunity, the fact to ride and be part of a team with different nationalities, different cultures. One thing that was quite interesting when I did my master's was that we had representation from 33 nationalities. We'd often get to the same conclusion, but we'd go about it in different ways, means, and I think that's quite interesting. And I think just to replicate that in a motorcycling scenario would be brilliant, to see how different people ride. And this trip, I think, is going to be absolutely brilliant. The fact that there'll be 6 people representing the world, in addition to the existing team that TourTech already have, and Herbert and Ramona. I think the whole mix of people, what it has to offer, and it's associated with a school charity, which is close to my heart. So I think all the pieces sort of fall together. And I've not personally come across anything like that. And I've never ever applied for anything like that. So I think it'll be brilliant if one was to sort of go on the ride. And even if it was a paid thing, I'd still apply for it. I think it's the principle behind it, and it's the concept behind it, which is extremely strong.